Hello everyone, so today we are going to solve this Leetcode question number 167, which says 2 sum 2 but then input array is sorted. It is kind of a variation of the original 2 sum array. It is just that we are given in advance that the input array is sorted. So let's read through the description. So we are given an integer array and we are also given that it is sorted in an increasing order. We also have to keep a note that this index array is starting from index 1. So what we have to do is we have to find those two numbers which add up to the specific target number. So let's go through the examples which are given to understand this problem better. So we are given this first example where we are given a 4 element array 2, 7, 11 and 15 with target as 9. So over here if we see through it, we are seeing that 2 plus 7 add up to the number 9. So then 2, 7 are the two numbers and the index positions are 1, 2, since this is an array with one index starting with index 1. Now in the second example we are seeing that 2 plus 4 will give us the desired result as 6, which is equal to the given target. So over here the index position which we are looking for is 1 and 3. So this index and this index, and over here this will be the index and this will be the index. So a couple of things we have to see through over here is, so the key information which is given to us is that the array is sorted. So what information that we gather from this statement is that the leftmost element will be the smallest element. So this is the leftmost element, this will be the smallest, and this is the rightmost element, this will be the largest, since this is an array which is sorted in increasing order. So this is the important information which we have to catch it, and then we have to find the two index positions of the elements which sums up to the given target. Just like we have seen over here that 2 plus 7 gives us 9 and then 2 plus 4 gives us 6. So these are the two elements and we have to return the index positions of these elements. Okay, let's try to understand this problem, how we are going to solve this, and let's see through the approach and then we will go to the algo. So we are given this array 2, 7, 11 and 15 with target as 9. So how we are going to solve this problem is we will be using two-pointer approach. So by using two-pointer approach, what we are going to do is we will be initializing the start index as the first index of the array, and we will be initializing an end index which will be pointing to the last index position of this array. So what we are going to do is we will be adding up the elements which are present at both of these indexes. So what is the element at the start index? So start is initially 0, end is initially 3. Now we get the element, we get the array at start which is equal to 2, and then we get the array at end which is 15. Now we add both of these elements, 2 plus 15. It gives us a sum of 17. Now we see that 17 is actually greater than 9. 9 is our target sum. So as the array is in increasing order, which means if we go from the start towards end, then the values of the elements which are given are increasing. Now we are seeing that the sum that we currently got is greater than the target sum, which means what we have to do is we have to move the end to end minus 1. This will be end minus 1. The reason for that is why we are moving to end minus 1 is if we move the start index to start plus 1, then as the array is in increasing order, so the sum will eventually increase. But to achieve a target sum, we are already seeing that our current sum is greater than the target sum. That is the reason why we have to move the end to end minus 1. Now ARR end is 11 and ARR start is at same position, which is 2, right? So now we will be adding up these two elements. ARR start is 2 plus 11, which gives us 13. Now again we are seeing that 13 is greater than 9. So following that same logic, what we have to do is we have to move end again to end minus 1. So we have to move end here. This will be our next end, and start will continue to remain here. Now ARR end is 7 and ARR start is at 2. Now we add up these two elements. 2 plus 7 is equal to 9, which is equal to the target sum. Now what we are going to do is, now since we have found those two elements, then the start position is at index 0 and the end position is at index 1. Since this is a one indexed array, so how we will be returning the result is we will be returning as start plus 1 and end plus 1, which gives us the result of 1 comma 2, which is our desired result for this problem. Now let's, so this is one of the example. Let's go through another example where we are seeing that we have to move start and we have to keep the end as at the same position that we are already on. So let's take this example where we are given a target as 22. So this is the target sum that we have to achieve. Now the start is at this position and start is equal to 0 and end is equal to 3. Now let's follow the same logic. Add the elements at ARR start and plus ARR end. Now ARR start is 2 and ARR end is 15, which gives us the sum of 17. Now we are seeing that 17 is lesser than 22. Since this array is in increasing order and end is already pointing to the largest element present in the array, so what we will be doing is we will be moving the start to 7. Since this array is in increasing order, so if we move the start, eventually the sum will also increase. So now let's add the ARR start and ARR end. So the start is 7 and end is 15, which gives us the desired sum as 22, which is equal to 22. Now here the indexes will be, so now start is at index 1 and end is at index 3. Since this is a one indexed array, we have to increment the start. So our final answer will look like 2 comma 4. This will be our desired result. So anytime if we see that our target sum is lesser than our current sum is lesser than the target sum, then we have to do a start plus plus, and if we are seeing it is greater than target sum, then we have to do end minus minus. Let's go through the algo quickly also. So we have to take two pointers, start and end. So start will be at the first index, and end will be at the last index. Let's take this pointers, and now what we have to do is we have to add the numbers at both of these indexes. So after adding the numbers, if we are seeing that the target is less than sum, if the target is less than sum, then we have to do end minus minus. Then we have to move the end to its previous position, and if we are seeing that the target is greater, if it is greater, then we have to move the start to start plus 1, and if the target matches with the sum, then we have to return the indexes as start plus 1 and end plus 1. And the reason for that is because we are taking the start position of this array as 1, which is given in the, which is highlighted in this question. So if we are seeing in the very first line, it is given that the array is 1 indexed. So this is how the algo and the solution of this problem looks like. Let's try to quickly code this problem and see how it goes through. Okay. So let's take a result array where we would be returning our desired results, and we will be taking it as a constant space. Let's initialize an array with 2 elements. Now let's take the start index as 0, and let's take the end index as numbers dot length minus 1, which will point to the last index. Now let's run a loop till start is less than end. Now the very first thing what we were doing is we were calculating the sum at both of these indexes. We will be calculating the sum at the start, calculating the sum of the element at the start index and the sum of element at the end index. Now let's check for 3 conditions. First one, if the sum is greater than target. The sum is greater than target, then what we were doing is the sum is if the sum is greater than target, then we were doing end as end minus 1. So let's follow the same. We will be doing end minus minus, and if the sum is less than target, then we will be incrementing the start as start plus plus. So now we have an option where the sum is greater than target, and then we have another else if where we are seeing that the sum is less than the target. Now let's see that condition where, so the only condition which is left over here is sum is equal to target. So in that case, what we are going to do is our resultant array at 0th index, what we are going to put is start plus 1. Why? Because the starting index of the given array is 1, and at the first position of the resultant array we will be putting end plus 1. Now let's return this res, and if it does not go into this loop, let's return the same initialized array as our result. Let's try to run this code. Okay, so just a typo, instead of array we are actually taking the numbers. Let's try to run this again. Yeah, so now it is passing. All the test cases are passing. Now let's try to submit this code. Yeah, so all the test cases are passing and the runtime complexity is only 1 millisecond. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching our video. If you like our video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much.